How much did Stan Van Gundy get fined the other night? Huh?
I'm sure you could, if there is something, but are you aware of a memo or like?
No, I don't know. We got it. The onus is on us to adjust. We've got to adjust whatever charge or whatever way they're, the officials are going to call. We have the best officials in the world. Whatever way they're going to call it, we've got to adjust to that, and that's what I told our team. If they're not going to call it, you got to go to Plan B. And I think DeMar is smart enough to do that, and he's got to do that. If they're not going to give him the calls when he's attacking the paint and attacking the basket, again, it's up to the officials. I mean, their judgment is that, excuse me, he's not getting fouled. So we got to make sure we adjust to that.
I mean, his game is kind of going into contact,
Mm-hmm.
contested shots,
Mm-hmm.
and then the fouls kind of make up for the.
Right.
What is something you can do if they're not going to give him that whistle?
Well, he's got to, draw and kick, not be, tentative on his jump shots. Go ahead and take his jumpers when he comes off of pin downs and not, try to attack the paint, because he's had some times where he can come off and just vault up and shoot his shot, and he did that a couple of times last night and got a good look. So those are the type of adjustments he's making, because guys, our big guys, JV and Biz, are doing a good job of screening, of setting pin downs. Pat's doing a good job of screening. Even Kyle is one of our best screeners, is doing a good job of knocking his man off, creating a problem. And then, but he's got to make that decision come off, and he will. Again, DeMar's only played 13 playoff games, again, just like we preach about young players developing, we want them to be Michael Jordan after 13 playoff games. So he'll adjust. He's going to be okay. He's not going to forget how to ride the bike, as far as his play is concerned.
Paul was saying after the game yesterday that they've got to spend some more time going into Game 3 trying to solve the Jonas problem, trying to solve him. How much is his strong play over the last couple of games? How much do you think that can free things up for DeMar and Kyle?
Huge, Josh. I think that with JV's play and finding that third option, and if we have another fourth option, is going to be really big to take the pressure off of them loading up. Because everybody talks about they load up off of Biz, they load off of JV too. They were loading off, and I'm sure they'll make adjustments for JV, in Game 3, but that does take pressure off of DeMar and Kyle. And Kyle did a good job of finding JV on rolls, on the post-ups, because if they're going to commit two to Kyle, he did a great job of picking them apart. Now whoever, they've got to pick their poison, or JV on the roll, or take Kyle out, or whatever they want to do.
What have you guys been able to do to limit the effectiveness of Ellis, Hill, Turner so well, aside from what Jordan's doing?
They've missed some good looks. They've missed some good shots. They missed some good shots is what I'm gonna leave it at. They missed some good looks. People make, again, they missed some good shots.
How is Terrence today?
Terrence, he's a little, he's got it. What was the medical term?
Heading, so he's going to go and get another scan or
Right.
So he's shortly to go visit the doctor.
I can save him a trip. I'll just tell him what he made the mistake on the play. I told him that's why he got. It was a punishment for making the mistake on the play, getting knocked out, or whatever, knocked down, and that series right there concerned me as much as any last night. We had a 12-point lead with 3 minutes to go, and we lost our mind. I mean, Corey made some bonehead plays. He understands it. JV made some bonehead plays in that stretch. We go from opportunity to shoot it up to 15 or 14, and we went the other way. So those are the situations in playoff situation. It goes back to having that playoff experience, and Corey's been there. So I got on Corey the hardest in that situation. He knows it, but, again, other than that, Corey's done a tremendous job for us, leading us and running the show.
The lineup with Kyle and the 4 reserves has been pretty big for you guys since pretty early on in the season. Was
Was there a moment where you knew that was something that was going to work for you guys, and what is it about it?
Well, it worked. We had it going down the stretch, you know, and again, it wasn't anything. It was more the defensive presence that group had going down the stretch, and we knew that going down the stretch, that's kind of what we wanted to do. We you know, I thought about the hardest decision as a coach is, do you put DeMar back in, do you leave him out? And it wasn't a benching, it was just an adjustment we made that we felt like the matchups were good. So he was, you know, he understood it. I mean, he's been in on the other side of that where he's been in there, and you thinking about putting another sub in. So it was, that group did a good job. They gave us physicality, they gave us toughness in that stretch run.
For the season as a whole, though, what makes that group work as well as it does?
Toughness, this physical toughness defensively. They created a lot of stuff for themselves from the defensive end, getting out in transition, early drags, early double drags, but it started with their defensive presence and getting stops, and I thought that was the difference. And that group did a much better job of getting back in transition. I think they had 13 or something transition points in the first half and 3 in the second half. So that was a huge part of the game, is getting back, giving our defense an honest chance to guard them.
Dwane, how do you evaluate or assess these first two games where you've arguably gotten less from one of your all-stars, but more from a lot of other guys that perhaps you keep, like Patterson and Corey and Valanciunas kind of picking up the slack?
Right. That's a plus. I mean, game one wasn't our identity. And those two guys haven't hit stride yet. I thought Kyle fought through it with his hustle plays, but DeMar will fight through it. He's going to bounce through this. But it's a positive getting Jonas going and getting him where we want him to be, being that third option, third threat that we have. And then, again, Kyle and DeMar's shot is going to come around. So that's a huge positive, having Corey playing the way he's playing, Patrick playing the way he's playing, and like you said, our two top players, and I wouldn't say playing, but shooting the ball the way they normally shoot the ball.
What's your comfort level with what Corey's doing right now?
Very comfortable. I mean, I've said that from day one throughout the years, not just the playoffs, Bruce. He's been that warm blanket throughout the year. And but again, I say this, even though he's a young kid, he's had, 41 playoff games. And no matter what you say, that is huge. When you have that type of experience, this is an experienced league. Experience wins in the NBA. And he's been there. He's seen it. He may not have been on the floor the whole time in San Antonio, but he has seen it. He's been there. So that has helped him tremendously play through some of the big moments.
He's not the biggest guy or the quickest guy. What about him kind of makes him exceptional?
Toughness and fearlessness, I think, is it. He'll stick his nose in there against a 7-footer. He'll take a charge. He'll dive on the floor. His speed and quickness, and reading situations. He's one of those guys that can read the situation. Now, again, he's still, even though he was there for 41 years, he still makes some mental mistakes that young guys make. And again, that's going to come through experience of him being in there in that position in those big moments. But very comfortable, Corey. Always have been throughout the season. And he's just going to another level here in the playoffs as far as his coolness and calmness under pressure.
What do you like the most about the way JD's playing right now?
He's finishing plays. He's putting himself in position. He's screening, I think, is what's freeing him up to get the ball. He's establishing deep post-up position through his screening. A certain play we run, the way you screen is the way you're going to get deep post position, and he's done that. But most of all, he's completing plays, and defensively, he's up where he should be in a pick and roll situation, and not making mistakes in that area. So he's gotten better in all those areas of his game.
You said last night the next phase is adding a long distance shot. I don't know if it was tongue in cheek about the 3.
No, I wouldn't say during the playoffs this year, but maybe next year, maybe the year after that. That's the next phase, because I have so many older players. When the game slows down for them, that shot becomes more effective, and you've seen it with Luis. I've seen it through with numerous guys over my coaching career that guys, when they get older, that three-point shot is a good shot for them.
Did we just start at 15 feet though?
That started 15 feet first without a pump fake.
What change did he make between game 1 and 2 that helped him to stay out of foul trouble yesterday, JP?
He just showing him the film, watching the film of where he got his cheap fouls, getting tangled up. And again, I like my money. I'm not going to say anything about the officials, but a couple of times he had guys draped on him. But when he tries to release and get out of it, that's what the officials see. And he gets the brunt end of that. He got the brunt end of that on Saturday, and he was smarter the other day by showing the officials his hand the entire play, whether shots in the air, and he didn't put himself in that position. And that's where that experience is going to come, not getting tangled up. And, the old trick of when you're trying to get free, that guy flops. Or he acts like you're hitting him, and that's what the officials see.
Kyle and Corey got a few possessions on Paul George last night. It seemed to make him a little uncomfortable with them up in his jersey a little bit and the ball denial. Is that going to kind of be the key with George, to throw everything at him and try to keep him uncomfortable?
We got to throw different looks at him, whether it's a double team, some zone defense, whatever we have to throw at him. We've talked about it. We're being prepared for it. Again, you do one thing, you're going to give up something else, and sometimes we consciously do one thing not to give up something else. So, that's the thing that those are adjustments. Those are things that are strategies, adjustments, and do they work sometimes? No. Do they work sometimes? Yes. He had 28 points yesterday, and he had 33 the first game, and it wasn't Panic City. You don't want to get them all in one half, but there's a strategy to that sometimes, and we got to take advantage of what we can control.
Well, typically when teams are trying not to foul, it's show them your hands, stay vertical, all these kind of bite on pump fake. So if you know that's what they're doing, does that open up an opportunity for a guy like Demar? Is there plays and shots he can make or take that take advantage of that?
Well, again, it goes back to what I said, Michael. Coming off those screens when you're clean, just go ahead and vault up and take that shot. Make or miss, you got to live with that. And when you have that mentality coming off and not, you're so used to driving in there, creating contact, and now the guys are showing their hands and pulling their hands back. You don't have to worry about that. But that quick decision of coming off the pin downs or boom, one dribble and up or whatever, that's the rhythm he's gotta have, and he will. He'll figure it out that they're playing him differently. They're not taking his pump fakes, and that's the adjustment individually you have to make. And he's watched a ton of films with the coaches, and he sees his opportunities and sees where the big guys are doing a good job of screening. Even when he's running the pick and roll himself, he's got an opportunity to make a quick decision and make a play, a shot. Or to me, it's not really the shot. It's even if he has to pass it, make a quick decision with it.
Do you think you can win the series without him scoring at his normal level?
Ooh, yeah. You would hope you could, but it'd be more difficult. It'd be more difficult. I think, I have confidence in other guys stepping up. It doesn't, if DeMar is a facilitator and making plays for other people, yes. I think without him scoring, there's no question. Because I think we have other capable guys of making shots, but he's got to be a facilitator. He can't just continue to force the issue of going in there and they're not getting the call and forcing that play. There's other things he can do. One is be a facilitator. Two is give it to us on the defensive end and create some turnovers and get out in transition and do those things and not get so fixated on I've got to get into the paint or get to my sweet spot.
What difference in mood, if any, was there today with your team having got off the mat last night in this series?
We can't exhale. My whole thing today, and I've been in so many playoff series over the years that you win one game and, you know, the situation we were in, losing 7 in a row, whatever, the first thing you want to do is exhale, and you can't. You know, we can't, because now they're going to come back and have their backs against the wall in Indianapolis like we had yesterday. So again, we can't exhale, we can't relax. My whole thing is, yeah, we won the game, but you know, what can we do better? And that's the way we went into our meeting today and on the floor, and then tomorrow practice and going into Indianapolis. Because, again, this is going to be a long series. They're a very good team. They got a lot of weapons. And, you know, our deal is make sure we control what we can control, and that's us, what we do, how we approach it mentally and physically in Indianapolis.